So now we're going to wrap up our discussion of self-rescue on the theme of improvisation, using materials that we have on our harness to solve the problems that we need to solve. Lots of different options here. So imagine that we dropped our waist prusik, all right, and we need to go back up the rope. We still have a rope grab in our longer prusik. So let's go ahead and see how we can use our longer prusik. So Andrea's going to go ahead and put her waist prusik on, now her longer waist prusik. And she's going to make it short. Okay, she's going to shorten it up to the length that she wants. It's a lot easier to make things shorter than it is to make them longer. A simple overhand knot to the length she wants, and she can clip in that waist prusik now, the length she wants, into her belay loop. Now, we not only dropped our waist prusik, but we also don't have our sling. We loaned our sling to somebody else, we used it as an anchor, we don't have it, all right? So how can she ascend the rope with only one prusik? Well, she can stand up in the rope itself. So she's going to wrap her foot with the rope. Note that the load strand she's going to be standing on right here is pinching down, see that X on her brakes or tail strand, and that'll keep the rope from slipping on her foot. All right, so just go ahead and stand up and see how that works. Look at that. She can stand up, move her waist prusik up, and sit right back down in it. Just slips the rope around her foot, maintaining that X. Okay. Stands up again, moves her waist prusik up. Voila! Just like that, we're able to, with one prusik, ascend the rope. So pretty handy. So having this ability to stand up on the rope directly is a super handy skill. So imagine any number of scenarios where we simply need to stand up momentarily to fix some problem, rather than going through all the rigmarole of getting our foot loop out and the clem heist on here to create a foot loop. We can simply do this directly. A super handy skill to have. We can stand on the rope itself. And we can come back down a step if you'd like. Okay, so we can come back down again. Okay, all right, cool. So it doesn't work quite as easy to go down as it does to go back up. Okay, so, but a pretty handy skill to have. Now, another handy skill, just think about being creative. You're good there. So being creative with the material that we have. So let's say we don't have any prusiks. We didn't bring them, we dropped them, we forgot them. Well, we have a sling. So we've got our double length sling. So remember how we put that clem heist on the rope? We could have set up with a clem heist on the rope, and maybe we needed to be just this short for that foot prusik.
Oh, waist prusik.
Waist prusik, sorry. Okay. So that clem heist on the rope, she can clip this in her belay loop. Now she's got a waist prusik with a clem heist. And then she can stand up on the rope directly and get up that way. So know how to use the material you have in your harness. Maintain 2 points of contact. So remember when we went through all of our exercises, we had, in self-rescue with our prusiks, we always had 2 points of contact. Now, when you're trying to think through and solve a problem, you might realize as you went through this process, maybe at one point you only had a single prusik on your connecting you to the rope. And you got through the whole problem, you solved it. But thinking back, hanging on that one prusik probably wasn't the best thing. So when we're working through the problems, remember to maintain at least 2 points of contact. So we've always got a backup. Tying off short, that's another backup. So when you're trying to solve a problem, before you start changing things up and increase the risk of a mistake, getting the rope below you, tying it off short, putting it on your harness is a really key step. It's easy to make mistakes, and that backup will keep us from having serious consequences. Don't try to memorize the steps. So when Andrea was going up through her exercises here, solving all kinds of problems, they got kind of complicated. Trust me, you cannot memorize the steps to do that. All right, you need to understand those underlying principles. How do I use a prusik or a couple of prusiks to transfer load from the rope to me here, to another prusik to load the rope somehow differently. So using prusiks to transfer tension from one part of the system to another is key. If you understand the underlying principle, when you're faced with a problem, you'll be able to figure out how to solve that problem. And then study the topic. It's really an interesting topic, self-rescue is. It's very complex, but it's super important. When you need these skills, you really need these skills, all right? And you need to practice them. These skills will disappear. You use it or lose it. And so practice them periodically, look for opportunities. And then finally remember that when you do need these problems, these skills, you'll be in an unplanned situation. So it's a rescue situation, it's a problem-solving situation. Something happened you didn't plan on, the stress level's gone sky high. Okay, when that happens, you've got to calm yourself, you have to breathe, then you have to think, and then do it, okay? And you've got this. That's self-rescue.